Hi, it's Kathy. Welcome back to Kathy's Happy Home. I always love it when the trees start to turn color. And I'm going to show you some of that color now. The colors will be much better in a couple of weeks. We're not even anywhere near the peak yet. This is just the middle of October. And usually by right before Thanksgiving is when we get our best color. Well, now that I've showed you that, let me tell you about the books that I've been reading lately. George and I are home now, and we're going to tell you about the books I've been reading. The first book I want to tell you about is this one by Ellie Midwood, and it's called The Girl in the Striped Dress. And it's subtitled A Completely Heartbreaking and Gripping World War II Page-Turner Based on a True Story. The blurb about it says, and I can never say this word, Auschwitz, 1942. This unforgettable novel, based on a true story, brings to life history's most powerful tale of forbidden love. Set within the barbed wire of Auschwitz, a man and a woman fall in love against unimaginable odds. What happens next will restore your faith in humanity and make you believe in hope even where hope should not exist. My friends, this was one of the very best books I have ever read. I'm sorry it's on Kindle because I would love for my sister to read this, and I might even buy her the paperback of this for Christmas because it's just unbelievable. It's about a girl, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. She's a Jewish girl. She's, of course, founded up with others, taken away, her family's killed. She is put to work in the prison, and this one soldier guard who's pretty near the top of the list takes pity on her for some reason. And as time goes on, years pass, he falls in love with her. He saves her when it looks like she's going to be killed. And there's a trial that takes place after the war is over. Unbelievable story. They say it's based on a true story. I don't know how true it is, but I think a lot of it, the way it's written, is true, or I would say 99% of it is true, with just some embellishment to make it readable. The story I've read other commentators on this, and they say it's the Stockholm Syndrome, where the captor falls in love with the person who is holding on to them. I don't know. But anything that could help this girl with the situation she was in is okay by me. I highly, highly recommend you read this book, The Girl in the Striped Dress. The second book I want to tell you about is this one, which is an actual paper book by Ashley Emma, and it's Amish for a Week, the true story of an author staying with the Amish. Well, after the last one, this is one that I really needed because it's so much lighter and very easy read. It's lots of pictures. That these are pictures that she took herself, and it's the story of a girl, Ashley Emma, who's a well-known author, and she decided that she wanted to write a book about the Amish, but she wanted it to be real. She didn't want the tourist version of the Amish. Let's see if that's a little better. So Ashley goes and finds a Amish community not too far from where she lives. I mean, it's several hours away. And she writes to that somebody there and asks to be able to live with a family for a week. And there is a family that says, yeah, we'll open our home to her. The story about how she lived, how the Amish live, completely different from what most people think about the Amish. It was really interesting. I loaned it to my sister, and she loved it too. I'm going to loan it to my friend in church this week when I see her. It's a great story, and I think you would really like it too. Let me see. She says here on the back, ever wondered what it would be like to stay inside an Amish home, make Amish friends, or go to an Amish wedding? Now you can experience what Amish life actually looks like in this author's journal about when she stayed with the Amish for research in this updated and improved version. Previously called the Ashley's Amish Adventure series, the 2 books from that series have now been combined into this one book. Join best-selling author Ashley Emma as she travels to the Amish community of Unity, Maine, and stays with 3 Amish families as part of her research for her Amish novels. Come along on the fascinating journey as Ashley learns everything she can about the Amish, as she rides in buggies, shells buckets of peanuts, attends Amish church services, helps make 100 quarts of applesauce, not my idea of a good time, learns Amish customs, teaches in the schoolhouse, visits an Amish family in Lancaster, and attends an Amish wedding. Most of all, she makes lasting friendships with the Amish. Good book, and I think you'd enjoy it. The next 3 books may seem a little strange, but when I was a child, I had my mother's series of Pollyanna books. Yes, it is a series. I think there's 7 books in the series, and it takes, most people know the original Pollyanna story, about an orphan girl that goes to live with her aunt and changes the whole town she's living in. But not many people know that there's a whole series. After Pollyanna comes Pollyanna Grows Up, and then after that she gets married and is Pollyanna of the Orange Blossoms, and it goes through her first year of marriage. There's also Pollyanna's Jewels, which talks about her children, and I can't remember the names of the other ones. My mother's books were printed during World War II when they couldn't get rags for the paper, so the paper is very fragile, and I really wanted to read it again, but I was afraid to read her books because they're just falling to pieces. So I bought it on Kindle, and all they had were the first 3 books, so that's what I read, and I was taken back to my childhood. It was so great. I loved reading these books again. And as an adult, you get an entirely different perspective on what's going on. But let me tell you about the first one first. The first one, of course, is Pollyanna by Eleanor H. Porter. As soon as Pollyanna arrives in Beldingsville to live with her strict and dutiful maiden aunt, she begins to brighten up everybody's life. The glad game she plays, of finding a silver lining in every cloud, transforms the sick, the lonely, and the plain miserable, until one day something so terrible happens that even Pollyanna doesn't know how to feel glad about it. That's the first book. The second book is Pollyanna Grows Up. Pollyanna Grows Up is a children's novel by Eleanor H. Porter. It is the first of many sequels to Porter's best-selling Pollyanna, but is the only one written by Porter herself. It's a best-selling novel, and it's considered a classic of children's literature. This book starts with, I think it's 1 or 2 years after the last one ends. And she has been living in Europe with her aunt and uncle. And then they have to go back, but they don't want her schooling to be messed up again for another year. So she is going to live in Boston with a friend of the family. And then the second part of the book, after that year is over, second part of the book, she's even older. She's in her 20s. And what she gets into, she's still the same Pollyanna. But let's look at book number 3. And this is Pollyanna of the Orange Blossoms. This doesn't have a very good blurb about it, but let me tell you, she gets married. I won't tell you to whom. And she moves with her husband to New York City. The adventures she has, they're just so Pollyanna. That's all I can say. It's such a great read, made me want to be a newlywed again. I somehow have a feeling that there's a couple more that I read that I'm just forgetting. I know these 5. Right now, I'm reading a biography on Eleanor of Aquitaine. I have very eclectic tastes when it comes to reading books. I read everything. Once I get another 3 to 5 books done, I will do another what I'm reading for you. But that's about it for now. I want to thank everyone for all your prayers and good wishes on my tooth extraction. That really means the world to me. This is Saturday, the October the 14th that I'm taping this. I had the tooth extracted on Monday the 9th, and today is the first day that I'm not swollen out to here. I'm feeling a lot better. I still have some pain. I'm still taking Tylenol, but not as often. So I guess that's good. I tried to eat some chicken last night, and yeah, it was fine, but after I was done, it really hurt. So I gotta be a little more kind to myself, I guess. But it's coming along. I'm sure by this time next week, it'll be just back to normal. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you stopping by and spending some time with me. And I'll see you next time.